A very good morning to all the students. This video for the class 6 subject science chapter number 7, that is getting to know the plants. This is your lecture number 3rd. So the topics to be covered. So the first topic that we are going to cover in this lecture, first one is function of leaves. Second topic is flowers, and third one is the parts of the flower. Fourth topic is we are doing some activity here, the activity 7 and activity 8. Let us begin this lecture with the first topic, that is function of leaves. So the first function of the leaves is leaves carry out the process photosynthesis. So the photosynthesis is the process in which plant use the carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to prepare the food and release some oxygen. Second function of leaves is the extra water from the plant body is released by the leaves through the stomata. So this process is called as transpiration. Transpiration is the process that cools the surface of the leaves which are heated up by the sun. You had already seen in transpiration in activity number 4. Okay. And the third function of the leaves is the exchange of gases takes place through the stomata present on the leaves. The exchange of gases takes place through the stomata that is present on the leaves. These are the function of leaves. Next, moving on, a flower. So the flower is the most attractive and reproductive part of the plant. A huge variety of the flowers of different size, different in color, their smell is also different, and shape are found in nature. There are huge variety of flowers of different size, colors, smells and shapes are found in nature. So the flower is the most attractive and reproductive part of the plant also. This is the picture of flower, a hibiscus flower. On our next topic, that is parts of flower. So the first part of flower is pedicel. A pedicel is a flower, is a part of a flower is attached to the stem by a help of a stalk. The uppermost part of the pedicel is swollen structure, that is thalamus. First one is pedicel is a part of a flower is attached to the stem by the help of a stalk, and the uppermost part of the pedicel is thalamus, that is swollen in structure. Okay. Next one is sepals. Sepals is the outermost green in color, leaf-like part of the flower. They enclose and protect the flower in the early stage or in the bud stage. Okay. Next is petals. Inside the sepals there are petals. Petals are the colorful part of the flower. Okay. Next is stamen. Stamen is present inside the petals. There are thread-like structures with swollen tips. Stamen is the male part of the flower. It is made up of the filament and anther. Firstly, stamen is present inside the petals, and the second one is they are the thread-like structure with the swollen tips that is present on the stamen. Okay. After that, stamen is the male part of the flower and it is made up of a filament and anther. Next is anther. Anther is the part of the stamen that produce and contain some pollen grains. Okay, pollen grains are the powders like substance that contain the male reproductive part. Okay. Next is filament. Filament is nothing, is just like a stalk on which the anther is present. Okay. Next we talk about the female part of the flower. So a flower shaped structure that is present in the center of the flower is called pistil, or we can say it carpel. Pistil is the female part of the flower. It is made up of the stigma, style and ovary. Okay, first one is the flask shaped structure. Present in the center of the flower is pistil or carpel. Then the pistil is the female part of the flower and it is made up of the stigma, style and ovary. Next is stigma. Stigma is the sticky bulb present in the center of the flower. It receives the male part of the flower, that is pollen grains. Then style. Style is the long stalk which connects the stigma to the ovary. The third part is ovary. Ovary is the basal swollen part of the pistil. It is the part of the plant that has ovule inside it. Each ovule contains the female reproductive cell. As you can see in this part of the flower, first one is a pedicle. This is the pedicle and this swollen structure here, this one is thalamus. Okay, the uppermost part of the pedicle that is swollen in structure, that is thalamus. Next is sepal. These are the sepals, this one and this one. So the sepals are the outermost and green in color. They are the leaf-like part of the flowers. They enclose and protect the flower in the early stage or in a bud stage. Okay. Next is the petal. These are the petals. First, second and the third. These are the petals. So inside the sepal, inside these sepals, here the petals are present. So petals are the colorful part of the flower. They attract insect for the process of pollination. Okay, some of the petals are sweet smelling also, so they can easily attract the insect for the process of pollination. Next is inside the petals there are thread like structures with some swollen tips. They are called as stamen. These are the swollen structures. These are stamens. Okay. So stamen is the male part of the flower. It is made up of filament. This stalk is filament and this swollen part is anther. So both anther and filament make the male part, that is stamen. Okay. Anther is the part of the stamen that produce and contains some pollen grains. Here pollen grains are the powdery like substance that contain the male reproductive part, and this is the stalk, that is filament, which the anther is present. Okay. Next is the flask shaped structure present in the center of the flower is called pistil. This, from the stigma to ovary, this flask shaped structure is pistil, that is female reproductive part. Okay. Here pistil, or we can say the carpel also. Pistil is the female part of the flower and it is made up of stigma, style and ovary. Okay. Stigma is this is the stigma. Stigma is sticky bulb present in the center of the flower and it receives some pollen grains, the male reproductive part on stigma. Next is style. This is the style portion. Here style is the long stalk which connects the stigma to the ovary. Style connects the stigma to ovary. This is the function of style. Then we have the ovary here. Ovary is the basal swollen part of the pistil. This part of the plant has ovule inside it. There are some ovules, as you can see these swollen structures. These are ovules here. Okay. Each ovule contains the female reproductive cell. This is it about the flower part. Next topic is activity number 7. So the aim is to study the functions of roots. So the material required we need to take the two categories: water, seed of maize or seed of gram, and cotton wool. The procedure is, firstly we need to take the two categories and place some wet cotton wool in them, then put 3 or 4 seed of gram in one and maize in another category. Next is to keep the cotton wet by sprinkling water every day until the sprouts have grown into the young plants. After a week, try to separate the young plants from the cotton wool. As you can see in this picture, firstly place some wet cotton wool in them and put the 3 or 4 seed of the gram in the one category, and then second put the 3 or 4 seeds of the maize, and keep the cotton wet by adding the water every day until the sprouts have grown into the young plants. After a week, you have to separate the young plants from the cotton wool. So the question is, was it easy to separate the cotton wool from the roots, and why? Now next topic is activity number 8. Aim is to study the types of roots and the material required. We need to take the gram and the maize plant root. So the procedure is, firstly look at the roots of the gram plant or at the maize plant root. You have pulled out from the cotton wool in the activity 7. So the question is, do they look like the root that is shown in figure A and B? Do they look like? And tell me about the roots of the maize plant. Which one is the root of the maize plant and which one is the root of the gram plant? Okay. Next is homework solution of lecture number 2. So the first question is, what is the primary function of the stem? So the primary function of the stems are, stem that is helps the plant to stand upright, and stem bears the branches, leaves and flowers, and stem transport water, minerals and food. These are the primary function of stem. Second question was, which of the following is not a tree? So the options are neem, wheat, mango and coconut. So the right answer is wheat, because wheat is a herb. Moving on our third question, that is, draw neat and well labeled diagram of parts of the leaf and the parts of the stem. So this is the part of the leaf. Here the outer area, that is lamina, and the middle part is midrib or a main vein. These are the veins. These lines that is from the midrib are veins, and this leaf stalk present from the base to the tip of the leaf. Here it is petiole. Next is the parts of the stem. So this is the picture of the parts of the stem. The first one is the petiole, and the second one is the axillary bud that is present on axil. Second is leaves, flowers are present. These are the pedicles, nodes. These are the internodes. Internodes are the nodes which are present between the two consecutive nodes, and these are the apical buds. Here apical buds are the buds which are present on the apex. Next, moving on the homework of lecture number 3. So the first question is, fill in the blanks. The small green leaves at the base of the flowers are known as, you have to fill this blank. Second one is the swollen basal part of the pistil is the dash which bears the, okay. Third one is stamen has the two parts called as, and fourth is the young unopened flower is termed as, fill this blank. Second question is, can the stem of a plant be compared with the street with the two-way traffic, and give the reason about how the stem compared with the two-way traffic. Okay, this is it about this today's lecture. Hope you have understood this lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.